My friends, each day you awaken, and before you stands the same question that has haunted humankind for centuries: who am I, and how shall I live? This question, though it may appear simple, is the deepest riddle of existence, and it is not answered by mere social conventions, nor by the transient trends of culture, nor by blind obedience to external authority. The true answer lies hidden within you, in places you may fear to look, and in aspects of your being that you may have long neglected. Today, I would like to speak to you about this journey, the journey of self-discovery, of improving your life by confronting yourself honestly, and of finding a way forward into a meaningful future. Modern man suffers not so much from external poverty as from inner emptiness. He is surrounded by wealth, technology, and noise, but he often feels hollow. Why? Because he has lost contact with the depths of his own psyche. He lives upon the surface of life, chasing fleeting pleasures or obeying collective ideals, while the true voice of his soul remains unheard. Many of you feel anxious, uncertain, even paralyzed. You ask yourselves, what should I do with my life? Which path is mine? And yet you find no satisfying answer because you are looking outward instead of inward. To improve your life, you must first establish a relationship with yourself. You must come into dialogue with the unconscious, that vast and hidden portion of your being which directs so much of your fate. Without this, all your plans are castles built upon sand. The beginning of growth is honesty. You must be willing to admit who you are, not who you pretend to be for society, not who you wish you were, but who you truly are at this moment. This requires courage, because when you look deeply into yourself, you will not only find light, but also darkness. You will see your limitations, your fears, your envy, your laziness, your impulses. These things you often try to repress or hide from yourself, but until you face them, they will control you from the shadows. I have called this hidden realm the shadow. The shadow contains all the parts of yourself that you reject or deny. Perhaps you tell yourself, I am a kind and generous person, and yet somewhere in the shadow there lives cruelty, selfishness, and hatred. Or you believe yourself brave, while in the shadow hides cowardice. To improve your life, you must acknowledge the shadow, not to indulge it, not to become consumed by it, but to recognize that it is part of you, for only then can you integrate it and thus prevent it from ruling you unconsciously. Consider how often people project their shadow onto others. A man who refuses to admit his own aggression will see the world filled with enemies. A woman who denies her selfishness may accuse others constantly of being greedy. This projection blinds us. If you want to free yourself, you must withdraw these projections. You must say, this anger I see in the world, could it be mine? This weakness I despise in others, does it also live in me? Such questions are painful, but they are liberating. When you accept the shadow, you become more whole. Your energy, which was once wasted in repression and denial, becomes available for creation, for love, for authentic living. But the unconscious is not only personal. Beneath your individual experiences lies a deeper layer, the collective unconscious. This is the shared psychic inheritance of humanity, the realm of the archetypes. What are archetypes? They are primordial images, patterns of experience, universal forms that shape the way we think, dream, and act. You encounter them in myths, in religions, in fairy tales, and in your own dreams. The hero who faces danger and transforms, the mother who nurtures and protects, the wise old man who offers guidance, the trickster who disrupts and deceives. These archetypes live within you. They influence your desires, your fears, your imagination. By becoming aware of them, you can understand the hidden forces that shape your life. For instance, when a young man feels the need to leave home and face the world, he is living out the archetype of the hero's journey. When a woman feels drawn to care for others, she embodies the mother. When you dream of a guide who offers you strange wisdom, you are meeting the wise old man. Recognizing these patterns allows you to see your life not as random chaos, but as part of a greater story. The goal of life, as I see it, is individuation. By this I mean becoming the person you are meant to be, not by imitating others, not by submitting blindly to collective expectations, but by realizing the unique pattern that exists within you. Individuation is not the same as selfishness. It is not about inflating the ego or indulging every desire. On the contrary, it requires humility, discipline, and confrontation with both light and darkness. It is a dialogue between the conscious and unconscious, a process of integration. To individuate is to unite the opposites within yourself, masculine and feminine, reason and intuition, order and chaos. It is to discover the self, the totality of your being, which transcends the ego. This self is the true center of the psyche. When you align with it, you feel a sense of meaning, of inner harmony, even amidst outer difficulties. Now you may ask, what can I do practically to begin this journey? Let me offer some guidance. Pay attention to your dreams. Dreams are the royal road to the unconscious. They reveal hidden truths about your situation. Write them down. Reflect on their images. Ask what part of you they are expressing. Withdraw projections. When you feel an intense emotion towards someone, hatred, admiration, envy, ask yourself, what does this say about me? What part of myself am I seeing in the other? Create, whether through art, writing, music, or simple play. Give expression to what is within you. Creation bridges the conscious and unconscious. Seek solitude. In silence and reflection, you can hear the deeper voice of your soul. Do not drown yourself constantly in distraction. Face responsibility. Do not evade the tasks of life. Each responsibility you accept, each challenge you meet, strengthens your character and brings you closer to wholeness. Balance opposites. Do not cling only to one side of your nature. If you are too rational, cultivate feeling. If you are too soft, develop strength. Wholeness comes from embracing both. You cannot avoid suffering. Life contains loss, failure, conflict, and death. But suffering without meaning is despair, while suffering with meaning is transformation. If you understand your suffering as part of your journey toward individuation, it becomes bearable. It even becomes a source of growth. Think of the seed which must be buried in darkness before it can sprout. So too your hardships may be the soil from which your true self emerges. Do not ask, how can I avoid suffering? Ask instead, how can I make my suffering meaningful? To move forward in life, you must first look backward into your unconscious, into your forgotten experiences, into your neglected truths. Only then can you walk ahead with clarity. Remember, the world will always try to tell you who you should be. But if you live only according to the demands of others, you betray yourself. To improve your life, you must live in dialogue with both the outer world and the inner world. Neither alone is sufficient. The outer world provides reality, responsibility, community. The inner world provides meaning, creativity, soul. When you hold these together, you walk the path of wholeness. My friends, the journey of life is not about becoming perfect. It is about becoming whole. You are not called to erase your flaws or to mimic the ideals of others. You are called to bring all that you are, light and shadow, weakness and strength, into unity. If you do this, you will discover a life of depth and authenticity. You will no longer drift aimlessly, but walk a path that is truly yours. The way is not easy, but it is worth everything. For in the end, the greatest privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are.